Howdy, my name is David Delano. This is Rockets Daily, brought to you by FanArch. Thanks so much for locking in with us throughout this offseason as we're going to be talking all things pertaining to your Houston Rockets. And thanks for being with us here during what may seem like the slow times, but do actually have some basketball to talk about here as our boy Alfie was in action with the Turkish national team. We're going to be talking here about that quite a bit. He's going to be the topic because with this offseason and everything going on, he is one of the guys who's playing right now, playing meaningful basketball that's not just talk, that's not just speculation. So we're going to go ahead and touch on it. And we've talked about this before. If this is your first time on the channel, you may not be aware of this. And it's football season. There's so much going on in the world of sports right now. But the Eurobasket tournament is going on right now. So one of Şengün's teammates here on the Turkish national team is Shane Larkin. And that name, some people may know it, some people may not. One son of Barry Larkin had a very successful college career at the University of Miami. Played in the NBA for a little bit. I believe he hasn't been in the NBA since 2018. But Shane Larkin is a guy that is having an extremely successful career with the game of basketball. One of the highest paid players in the world overseas when you look at outside of the NBA. And he's mentioned that he sees the potential in Şengün as being a top 10 player in the world. And when we look at what's going on right now in this Eurobasket tournament, I want to ask you guys this as far as how good do you feel about this? Because a couple things that could be a little bit of a concern. Şengün's playing in this Eurobasket tournament, and the Rockets went to the playoffs this year. Not as long as we would have liked, but still 7 games, a longest season of Alfie's NBA career so far. And what we're expecting coming up is going to be what we're hoping, right? It really should be, by everything we're seeing, the largest, longest season that he's played in the NBA this upcoming season, as we're hoping for a deep playoff run. And right now he's playing in the Eurobasket tournament. So, are you have any concerns there as far as with the durability? And when we talk about the Eurobasket tournament, Alfie's not just playing. He's definitely been balling out. So, recording this a little bit later here on Friday, because I wanted to be able to talk about this game. And Turkey took on the Czech Republic early and pulled away in the second quarter, never looked back. Another really big game from Cedi Osman, who we talked about yesterday. Someone that I think an NBA team is going to probably at least have to kick the tires on, even if it doesn't work out this offseason. Maybe in the following offseason. He had a strong game. Larkin's a guy that, when you look at now 32 years old as a guard, and when you look at he's making almost $4 million a year overseas, to be a superstar doesn't make a whole lot of sense for him to come to the NBA just for the sake of being in the NBA. Some really good players, though, in this Eurobasket tournament. And Şengün today in this game, when you look at the efficiency ratings according to whether you're more of a traditional stat person, advanced metrics analytics, he had a player efficiency rating of 40. Osman had a rating of 17. Another guy on the team had a rating of 17. Larkin a rating of 7. But looking here at this stat line for Şengün today, 8 for 9 from the floor, all twos, no threes. Just under 28 minutes, 7 for 10 from the free throw line, 23 points, almost had a triple-double, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. 5 of those rebounds were offensive rebounds. Had 2 blocks, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, 3 personal fouls. So seeing some dominant stuff right now coming out of Şengün. But when we look at this here, maybe this is the reason so much depth at center. Bringing back Steven Adams to a strong contract and also adding depth with Clint Capella. Those guys are going to need to take some minutes up because I think that this could be a huge year from Şengün, second team at All NBA maybe. And to say that, obviously, that center position is going to be hard to crack first team. But September 3rd does go up against Serbia. So, and Nikola Jokic. So that's going to be an interesting game that we're definitely going to be talking about. College football, ton of college football. University of Houston played yesterday. Almost an overwhelming slate of college football. Meaningful baseball going on. And still diving into the Eurobasket and the Rockets. But keeping you locked in over here Saturday, about 1:15 p.m. Central Time if you're in Houston. Şengün's going to be in action again against Portugal. Yes, they play back-to-backs to some of the people out there that don't like it and some people in the WNBA. Playing back-to-backs at all levels, it's a part of it. You don't have to do it every day. I think the WNBA has like 2 or 3 back-to-backs each team plays a year. But Şengün, big game, and yes, he's playing tomorrow. And how do you feel about that? Because he's been playing, man. He's not just going through the motions. He's playing hard. You think back with Anthony Edwards took that step up with his game, playing with Team USA. Playing with Team USA in the World Games a few years ago before the even without all the biggest superstars when he was on that team with Austin Reeves that I believe did not medal for the U.S., but you saw a step in Anthony Edwards' game. We expected that with Şengün, and as far as with Larkin's comments, as far as him being a top 10 player in the world, it could be scary. What we're seeing is positive as long as he stays healthy, but let me know in the comments as far as with this Eurobasket, are you a little, you don't really care? Do you think it's going to make him just add to his game, or are you concerned with the possible durability as far as playing in this tournament? Turkey's playing at a high level right now. Turkey's playing at a high level. Like, so he's going to be going up against Jokic next week. So he's definitely putting work in. And now as he also prepares his body for which should be the longest NBA season of his career. And yeah, like I said, we're going to need, minutes from Capella. Going to need minutes from Adams. But let's go ahead and touch here on this Rockets 2001 season as we go through our Rockets history. A little bit of a bittersweet moment here because you had Steve Francis averaging 19.9 points per game. You had Mobley averaging about 19.5 points per game. Beginning of an exciting era here toward the beginning stages, although wouldn't be the most successful era in Rockets basketball. A time that a lot of Rockets fans hold near and dear to their hearts, but it also was the last season that we would see Hakeem Olajuwon. Olajuwon, first of all, I'll say this particular season, this 2000-2001 season, it was tough because the Rockets were much better than they were the following year, went 45-37, but this was also the time the Western Conference was really establishing itself as the far superior conference to the East. No longer the Michael Jordan days. This is the year that's a big year for Allen Iverson, where they lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. So, I mean, you look and you think about it. You had a Philadelphia 76ers team, that Allen Iverson carried, but that's the team that came out of the East. And you look at the West, Rockets won 45-37 and finished with the 9th seed. Seattle won 44 games, finished with the 10th seed. So, no playoffs for Houston, despite winning 45 games. And mentioned here last season for Olajuwon, played in 58 out of the 82 games. A little bit tough to see there. 38 years old at this time of his career. Averaged 11.9 points per game and 7.4 rebounds. Steve Francis was second on the team in three-point percentage, but first in attempts. 39.6%. Rockets were fourth in the NBA in three-point attempts per game at 17.2. Would say how things have changed in not a long period of time, but 2001, I guess, was a long time ago. Shout out to everybody in the comments. I appreciate each and every comment. And I know I had a comment yesterday mentioning this team having a shooter. Might have been talking about Matt Bullard, who shot just over 40% from three. Played 61 games, started 5, averaged just under 6 points per game. But led the team in 3-point shooting percentage. One thing that, even though we talk about this being an exciting era for Rockets basketball, maybe the fans at that time didn't really see it, and I understand not as exciting as all the years that were coming before this. You had the lockout season and then the terrible season following the lockout season. Part of a time where the joy for the Rockets, unless you're, shout out to you if you're were really locked in at that time, was kind of coming down in a lot of ways. But it all depends what stage of your life that fell on as well. But the reason I bring this up, Rockets were dead last in the NBA in home attendance that season, 29th out of 29th. So 45-37 season, no playoffs last season for Dream. Rockets' expected win-loss record was 48-34, fell short of that. So this episode of Rockets Daily brought to you by FanArch. Thanks so much for watching. Portugal and Turkey, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time on Saturday, August 30th. For you guys who want to check that out or follow along with Şengün, we'll be back to talk about it on Monday. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Rockets Daily. Let me know what you think about this Eurobasket as far as Alfie just completely dominating right now. Looking forward to this matchup with Jokic next week. But are you worried about the durability at all? Or do you think he's just going to take it up to another notch, which will ultimately take this team over the top? You mentioned Steven Adams and Capella as well. Going to need them to all stay healthy to help keep Şengün fresh. Thanks so much for watching.